I now call on Claudia Beamish, who is making her first speech in our Parliament today, to be followed by Derek Mackay.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I'm delighted to be called in this debate, which is very close to my heart. As we've heard from the debate, it's also close to the hearts of many other members across the Chamber, which is very exciting. I want to start by recognising the significant contribution made by Karen Gillan in changing people's lives in her 12-year term as Clydesdale's MSP. It seems more than 3 weeks ago that I was working with pupils as an eco-schools coordinator in a rural Clydesdale primary school, and I want to commend this programme and others such as WWF's One Planet Schools and the Dumfries Crichton Centre's Carbon Busters. Due to the Pupil Eco Committee in Braehead School, the new school has underfloor heating from ground source heat pump and light pipes to save electricity. And I had one P7 pupil who always had to sit under a light pipe and bask in the natural light because he felt that he was the one who had actually got that into his school. Sustainable school buildings must be standard across Scotland, and I hope the Minister will take note of that and act on it. Here is a generation which understands how to live sustainably and indeed keeps their parents up to the mark. I ask the Scottish Government to ensure continuing these programmes. Not only will Scotland have young people eager to be our solar roof fitters and our marine tech inventors, but citizens contributing strongly to transition communities. I also ask the Scottish Government to prioritise training for those already in the energy sector, liaising with the unions, so Scotland benefits from the transferable skills from those working in oil, gas, nuclear, as we move forward and the renewables industries grow. Having been central to taking through the first renewable targets with Scottish Labour, I commend the Scottish Government on its challenging figure of 100% renewables. The boldness will be judged by the delivery minister. I welcome the route map, and I do want to emphasise, though, however, that if Scotland is to become not just the green powerhouse of Europe, but to move faster and further fairly, there are issues that I would ask the Minister to address. Large developments are frequently controversial. Whether marine or onshore, local authority guidance must ensure that communities have a real involvement in the process. Where the applications go ahead, communities must have the power in all senses of the word. Ownership of a turbine or the opportunity to decide to give a pensioner free electricity. Not more than one pensioner, actually. This whole motion and our amendments across the Chamber show that we are representing Scots that want change and they want to be part of that change. And it is not just driven by eco-school warriors. Across the south of Scotland, urban and rural communities, individual households and businesses are starting to make this transition and need support. Tweed Green in Peebles, where I spent an evening listening to residents planning their sustainable future, they ask that the Climate Challenge Fund is retained. Whiston Lodge in Clydesdale, with the aim of conservation and development of buildings on the old estate, aiming for energy efficient and the reduction of use. And Creamer Galloway, a sustainable business with the best whisky ice cream in the south of Scotland, asking for carbon-cutting mentoring schemes and an adequately funded loan investment scheme as well, with a higher upper limit. Presiding Officer, I seek assurance from the Minister, Deputy Presiding Officer, that you will support these communities and you will increase the CARES loan scheme and expand it and make sure that the community renewables schemes do not run out, as they have often in the past. And as a member of the Scottish Co-op group of MSPs, I intend to promote this model as well, both for the structure that communities can take power into their own hands through, on and off grid, but also as a model for the manufacture of renewable energy, the technology that we want in order to bring jobs to Scotland and also to export across the world. We must ensure that the Cooperative Development Scotland has the expertise to advise and the funds to support. And most importantly of all, I am certain we have a responsibility to ensure that those households on low incomes or benefits are not left out of our new powerhouse. In this context, it is a great cause for concern that the fuel poverty budget was cut by a third in February of this year, and I asked the Minister to give us some reassurance on this issue, which does relate very closely to our own amendment. On a more positive note, I want to highlight the work of the Energy Agency in Hadywell Hill in Ayrshire, in my constituency of the south of Scotland. They really are blazing a trail in universal area-based energy efficiency schemes, with at least 80% of our building stock still in 2050 being what it is now. We must look at retrofitting, and schemes like this will help tackle fuel poverty and reduce demand across the communities, which is essential if we are to meet our carbon reduction targets. So energy efficiency is just as much part of our new vision across this chamber as renewable energy itself. As a candidate in the south of Scotland, many of the questions I had were about climate justice. Presiding officer, we can work across the Scottish Parliament on many of these issues in debate, with NGOs, the environment NGOs, and with the communities. I have a vision, which I know many of us share, which is of communities living in warm homes, heated and lit by their own power. And the people I represent want that. We need another word in the title of this debate, although I know it's too late for that. But that word, which I ask the Minister to consider throughout his deliberations, is a fairer future as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.